Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys another Q&A like I always do on Wednesday. So there's not really much else to say, so let's get right into this. 10 minutes from the top, 10 minutes to the bottom. Let's get started. Now I know SSJ Bardock is non-canon, but we just learned that Whis has the ability to time travel. It could be possible that we saw potential in Bardock to change the Saiyan race and teleport him to the past and to change the future. Just think about that. Now, if I remember, Whis can't go back a huge amount of time, and even if he did, I don't think he would see much potential in Bardock because he wouldn't interfere with those affairs. The whole Planet Vegeta was kind of Frieza's business, implied by Beerus and Battle Guys. It was kind of all Frieza's business, so I don't think Whis would really necessarily interfere. And I mean, come on. We know that SSJ Bardock went back. Bardock went back in time in that non-canon event that's completely fictional and doesn't make any sense. We know he went back in time because he got hit by Frieza's blast, which I don't know. But I don't think that's what happened. AJ Jacket. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I can't pronounce everything right. Hey, this is Sufyan. Do you think that Goku and Vegeta became mystic after training with Whis, which is why we don't see them transform? Also, how will they become SSJ God in the new movie if you believe Goten and Trunks won't be in it? Well, I don't think that Trunks and Goten aren't going to be in it. That wasn't my opinion. My opinion is I think they have to be in the film. They just won't show up right at the beginning, or they won't have a major role in the beginning. But I think it's pretty much impossible for them not to be in it at all. As far as the first part, I don't really know what you mean by mystic. I mean, I assume you mean by like Gohan. But I don't know if that's the right way to look at it, because Toriyama already made statements saying Goku's going to train his Super Saiyan form, and we know that Mystic form for Gohan is his highest level of power, and Super Saiyan doesn't really do anything to him. So that tells me that it can't really be their Mystic forms based on Toriyama's statements. So yeah, as far as how they become Super Saiyan God, that's up for anyone's opinion, man. I cannot possibly answer that. If Cell decided to fight Gohan instead of a beam struggle, could he have beaten Gohan in his injured state? I might get a lot of flack for this, but I do think that Super Perfect Cell is stronger than Gohan, and I want to put this into a video. I know Kwame did one as well, and I'll link it in the description, but I want to put my thoughts on it as well. Gohan in the anime and the manga, obviously, had gotten attacked, but this is something we've all heard before. It was by a weakened blast from Cell. And I know that people will say that blast was very strong, and it was. It was strong enough to, potentially kill Vegeta. But Cell had hardly charged that attack up, and it hit Gohan, and it reduced his power in half. That's one part of this. The second part is in that beam struggle, Gohan didn't want to start the clash until Goku coached him into it, which can be, taken into, Gohan's lack of, belief in himself, and that's fine. That's kind of an irrelevant point, I guess, that I would make. But if you want to go to the beam struggle, even though Gohan was at half power, the whole time Cell was in that struggle, he was laughing and toying with him, pushing it. He would let Gohan push the Kamehameha wave towards him, and he'd just push it right back, just to mess with him. And I mean, there's just more evidence to support that Cell would have been a little bit stronger, at least a little bit. In my opinion, I think that Cell has better techniques than Gohan did at that point, considering all the different, his regeneration and all that stuff. So that just tells me that. And the reason that Gohan won that struggle, in my opinion, is obviously because Vegeta distracted Cell. But at that point, Gohan in my opinion, released more power than he had before. He released even more hidden potential into his Kamehameha wave, and that's what I think led to Cell's demise. So you guys can, fight me about that in the comments. That's fine, but that's my opinion. I have my reasons for it. So at least I'm trying to back it up with facts. And, I guess educated opinions here, I suppose you could call them. But I just think there's more facts to support that Cell would be stronger. Can you make your Ask FM questionnaires or Ask FM question videos at least an hour, please, for me, from Amy? Well, Amy, I think the hour-long ones, as much as I do love to do those. I really do. I don't necessarily like having them to be 20 minutes. But the thing you gotta understand is not everyone wants to sit down for an hour and watch it, and that's just something you gotta kind of think about for everyone. And I really do like doing those hour-long ones. I used to do very long Q&As. I think a long time ago I used to do them. And I mean, I have a considerable amount of my subscriber base that watches my Q&As now, and it really is great. But I think I will save hour-long ones for special occasions. But it's definitely good to hear your input on that, Amy. But the hour-long ones are kind of special occasions, if that makes sense. I think 20 minutes is a pretty solid time for people to sit down and watch these. Are you hyped for Raging Blast 3? Come on, get hyped. We can get this trending, then made in 2 years. I just know it. Well, the Raging Blast 3 thing, I'd like to see another Raging Blast, sure. Now, I might get some backlash on this. The difference between the Tenkaichi 3 remake, which I do support, the difference between that and Raging Blast 3 is that Raging Blast 3 will take a lot more effort. And Raging Blast, I think, is kind of done at this point. I mean, the last one came out in 2010. It's 2015 right now. I don't think there's going to be another one, in my opinion. I don't think there's ever going to be another Burslim, another Budokai. There might be another Budokai. But I don't think there's going to be another Burst Limit or like any Tenkaichi style, new Tenkaichi style games, aside from the possible HD remake, which doesn't look so hot, judging by the fan base, doesn't want it apparently. So that's fine. I'm just saying, if you can, I don't see a reason to be completely against the game, but I'm not going to get into that. I already made my rant video. People hated it. That's fine. They can have their opinions. I can have mine. I fought with some people in the comments. Whatever. Things happened. But the Raging Blast 3 project, if I remember correctly, that was brought to Namco Bandai, I believe. I'm not positive, but I do think they declined it. So that kind of ends it right there, doesn't it? Would you welcome 2 or more GT movies that have them set in the 100-year time gap? Sure, anything Dragon Ball I'm up for seeing. I didn't really particularly like the first the GT movie we got, but I would like to see more, just for more Dragon Ball content, really. I have to be up for that, why not? Are you ready? Well, I have to ask you, are you ready? Best Nintendo game you've ever played, and this one under it's a repeat, so I'll just delete it now. Best Nintendo game ever, jeez. I'd like Mario 64, obviously. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is a fantastic game. That is a very difficult question to answer. Geez, Smash Bros. Is great. I'm just going to say Majora's Mask is probably my favorite. Nintendo games, it's not something I think about often because I play Xbox a lot. But I grew up with Nintendo games, and I grew up with PlayStation. I grew up with all of them, Xbox included. I grew up with all of that. I even played PC in my earlier gaming days. But I don't know, I'd say Majora's Mask really was one of the best games I've ever played in my life. So I have to say that one. I love your videos, and I was wondering do you think if Goku's mentality was that of Gogeta and finished off Buu, do you think they'd add another saga? Huh. That's very difficult to answer. I don't necessarily know if they'd add another saga. We'd probably just get GT or whatever. Well, no, we wouldn't get GT because there'd be no Oops, so it's very difficult to answer, and I really can't answer that. It's a very different... I mean, you're kind of asking for me to kind of answer a question for a company, and I can't say whether or not they would have done that or not. Would I have liked to see another saga? Absolutely. Can I answer the question? Not really. I can't give you a legitimate answer. I would like to think they'd add another saga, just for more Dragon Ball. What's your favorite game of all time? I've actually answered this before. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. My top 5 is Grand Theft Auto 5. Xenoverse is number 2. Everyone hates, says there's so many problems with Xenoverse, and there's a ton of problems with Xenoverse. It's very unbalanced at times. Those ultimates are crazy. But you know what? I have about 140 hours on that game. You might say I don't have a life, and that's fine. I mean, I do YouTube, I have a job, I have a personal life, and I play Xenoverse on the side. That's a life. I do other things. I don't just sit at home and play Xenoverse. I make content for you guys. I don't get paid for it. So, Xenoverse is number 2. GTA 5 is number 1. Number 3 is going to be Max Payne 3. Number 4, probably GTA 4. And number 5 will be Red Dead Redemption. Those are my top 5. So, yeah. Hopefully I answered your question well enough there. 10 years before Dragon Ball. Oh no, what was I doing? Skipping questions here. What if Goku was famous for being world champ? It would change a lot of things about the series. Assuming, you know, obviously you're talking about world champ from the early martial arts tournaments. It would change a lot of things, but it's so ambiguous to answer that I really can't possibly, you know, think of an answer. Goku's life would be very different, and he'd have a lot of, you know, people going to want to do interviews with him and all that stuff. His life would be very chaotic, I think. But I think Goku as a person would be able to handle it very well. But it's very hard to say exactly what that would cause for him to be world champ. I'm assuming Hercule wouldn't be as popular because everyone would be looking for Goku for help and not Hercule. So, 100 years before Dragon Ball, do you think there were strong fighters who died in battle and or died of old age, like at Gen Z? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I think there's definitely were strong people 100 years before Dragon Ball. I mean, Master Roshi was around, so, and there was people like Kami, which wasn't really a fighter, but I assume Popo was there, which, again, he's not really a fighter. But there were definitely fighters back then, but I'm assuming you're trying to compare GT and before Dragon Ball, but they were definitely strong people, if that's what you're asking. I just gotta check the time on here because I completely forgot. 11 minutes. Alright, I'll answer one more and then I'll go to the bottom. See, guys, what happens when you have ADHD and you forget the time? Messes you up. Okay. How strong was Master Roshi in his youth? Very difficult to answer. Very, very difficult to answer. I would say he was probably weaker because he had been training so long to master the Kamehameha Wave, so I would actually assume he'd gotten stronger in his youth, so I hope that answers your question good enough. Alright, I'll answer one more because I do want to answer this one. Which do you like more, the way SSJ God was achieved or the way SSJ 4 is achieved? I like the way SSJ 4 is achieved, and that's not me being a fanboy of Super Saiyan 4 because it is my favorite transformation. But you guys probably should know by now if you watch my channel long enough, I leave biasism completely out of my arguments. Or at least I do my best to. The thing about Super Saiyan God is you need, 6 pure-hearted Saiyans to get together and hold hands. That makes absolutely no sense because Saiyans are by nature, due to the way they live, are an evil race of people, kind of. And there's literally no way in hell there were 6 pure-hearted ones that decided to, by chance decided to hold hands. It doesn't really make any sense to me, and I have to accept it as legitimate because apparently, it is canon or whatever. Even though there's no official statement whether or not it's canon, it's just, I've never been more deeply involved in that project. And I'm not saying it's not canon, and I'm not saying it is canon, because there is nothing official. People are going to hate on me in the comments for that, and that's fine. I'm giving you guys a legitimate statement here. There's no official statement that Battle of Gods is canon. It may very well be, it more than likely is. I'm just saying, it's not official. GT was intended to be canon, and we all know everyone hates GT, fine. I like GT a little bit. That's fine. A lot of people hate Battle of Gods now, so who knows? Maybe people will just say Battle of Gods is canon. We don't know what will happen in 5 years. But it does look like Battle of Gods is canon, even though there's no official statement, so we'll all treat it as canon. I guess that's how it works in this community. But yeah, I don't like the way Super Saiyan God was really done as a transformation. Super Saiyan 4 made a lot more sense to me because it was basically telling who the first Super Saiyan was in a way. That's what the first Super Saiyan was to look like. And the form made a lot of sense. It doesn't really contradict anything in the series. So that's why I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the concept, and it was so vastly different from all the other forms. It was like a new transformation rather than an ascended form of the other Super Saiyans. Okay, let's get to the bottom because I have wasted a lot of time here. In the Hot Timeline, which would be the history of Trunks timelines for you, those of you who don't know that. In the history of Trunks timeline, where Goku had to take on Mech Frieza and King Cold, what do you think would have happened? Kwame did a video on this, I'll leave it in the description, but if you want my opinion, Goku at that point, when he landed, since he would have been, he pretty much would have been the same strength as he was when he landed home in our timeline. He was stronger than Future Trunks, and Future Trunks wiped them both out easily, so I don't think it would have been a fight, really. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys will correct me, that's fine, but Goku was blocking those sword slashes. So yeah, you could say Trunks was holding back, but I think Goku was holding back quite a bit as well. Goku was very strong when he landed on Earth. Have you seen Dr. Blick response video responding do you on if there's a new series? Oh, okay. So he responded to my new series. I did see one of his response videos. I didn't see that one specifically. I'll leave his I know his channel. I'll leave it in the description so you guys can check it out if you guys really want to. You know, give him a little shout out. But yeah, he's done a couple of response videos to me. I mean, a lot of guys, I feel bad because a lot of guys want to talk to me on Skype, and I don't know how some of my fans figure out my Skype account, but they do. People always contact me on Twitter, which is easier to get a hold of me, I guess. People want to play Xbox, and I can't always do it. I've done it before. Fans will tell you that I've, played with them, but I can't always do it. I mean, I have a lot of stuff to do, guys, and, half the time when I'm playing Xbox, I'm recording gameplay or something, and it's hard to keep up with it. And I can only imagine what happens when I hit like 10K in, 7 years or something like that. But yeah, I did see his response video. Go check out Dr. Blick in the description below. He responds to my videos. He makes other content, so go check him out. Why is Gohan the only half Saiyan with special hidden unlocked powers that come out when he's in danger or upset or angry while a baby, child, and adult? Such a big deal is made over him having so much hidden power. Is it unstable power, training, genes, or repressed anger issues? You know what, man? I can make a video on this because there is some things I can say about this. So thank you, Charlene Van Az. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, I suck at pronouncing things. I hope your name was actually Charlene and not something else. That'll be awkward. Anyways, yeah, you gave me a video topic. I think I can talk about that because, there is a difference between Gohan as well as Goten, who I think has even more potential. I think there's a difference between Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, in my opinion. So, yeah, I can make that into a video. I don't know when. We'll see. If Goku never made Broly cry, Broly still gets stabbed as a child, do you think Paragus would raise Broly to hate Vegeta and they would track him down? Do you think the Z Fighters would still be able to take Broly, who has been controlling his mental state and also training during Cell Saga? I mean, if what you're saying here is if they could take on a Broly that's been training, I don't think they could, considering how they got dominated in the first film. So I'm not exactly sure what the question exactly is asking here. I'm a little confused myself. But if you're asking if they would be able to beat Broly after training, the only thing that would beat him is like a Spirit Bomb or something. Living Tribunal versus Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. Think before answering, fool. Well, the Living Tribunal is overpowered as hell, so he's going to destroy him. Thanos, Heart of the Universe versus Kid Goku. Well, first of all, Kid Goku's a flying Heart of the Universe. Thanos is a monster, so he's going to demolish him. I know a little bit of comic books from my buddy Phil, so he tells me about this stuff all the time. So, doesn't make me look a complete idiot on the internet. Or, I'm sorry, not, maybe naive, I guess, for not knowing who they are. If you could turn SSJ 1, 2, or 3, what one would you want to go? It changes the way you look, and you can only choose one. I'd want to go SSJ 3 to know what eyebrows feel like. Well, they don't have eyebrows. I'd want to be Super Saiyan 1 just because, I could master the form and, stay in it for a very long time. Lick Frieza or bang your dead Nan. I can tell the person that asked this watches a lot of KSI. I'd lick Frieza. Well, I can't even say bang my dead Nan because my grandparents are dead. My grandparents aren't even dead, so I can't even answer the question, to be honest. You look like a vagina mouth bass. Well, thank you. I do try to keep, somewhat healthy looking, like a freshly caught vagina mouth bass from the, Atlantic Ocean or something. There's ocean bass, right? Probably not. I'm probably just blowing shit out my ass, but, whatever. Why did you say that full power to Sora would lose to Goku? Now, this is a question going back to my Sora vs. Goku video I did a while back. A lot of you might remember that. There were people saying that me and Phil, who I did the video with, who knew a lot about, we both played Asura's Wrath, which was a game, a lot. We played a lot. I recorded a lot of gameplay for my video, and there were people in the comments saying that I hadn't played the game. I mean, I obviously recorded gameplay, so I must have played it. That we didn't know anything, or we were DBZ fanboys, and sure, you can think that, but the fact of the matter is, we said who would win. We said Asura would beat Goku if he had this thing called the Mantra Reactor, which is some outside influence kind of thing. We said he'd win if he had that, and if he didn't have that, we said Goku would win, because it wouldn't even be a fight if he didn't have it. And people were saying that we're wrong, Asura would win. Listen, guys, we said that he would win. Maybe some of you are brain dead and didn't listen to the video. That's fine. But, you know, if you're going to bitch about that, then go on ahead. But you're bitching about nothing because we said he would win. So, you know, you can keep crying to your mama, but, you know, that's all I got to say about that question. Chi-Chi versus Bulma. Who had more potential? Chi-Chi. No, not even a contest. Bardock and Tokyo City with a big dumb glass of milk. Who was running? Oh, I'm sorry, big dumb glass of milk. Who was running and scared? I don't know how to answer this other than I really can't answer this actually. If Raditz gave Goku a week to kill people instead, what would have happened? Goku still wouldn't have killed anyone. He would have trained. He probably would have trained in the hyperbolic time chamber, even though it probably would have destroyed his body. But he would have done everything he could have to beat Raditz at that point. So, one more question, guys. Iron Fist and Luke Cage versus Master Roshi with Powerball. Gotta give it to Iron Fist and Luke Cage, man. Gotta give it to them. I don't know why. Something just tells me that it's them, man. And you know what? This one's very difficult. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more because this is interesting. Same point in time, disregarding canon/continuity. So I'm guessing they just mean by multipliers, guys. So don't think about the times. Think about if they're all in like the Buu saga, let's say, which would be the easiest to describe, I guess. SSJ4 weaker than SSJ God, or SSJ God weaker than SSJ4. I think that Super Saiyan... I'm actually doing a video. I did a video on Super Saiyan 4 with Super Saiyan God. I'm going to do a video on what has a bigger multiplier. I kind of answered it in my video, but I have more evidence to throw at you guys. So I'm going to do a video. It's actually going to have footage from GT and Battle of Gods in it. So I'll probably get a copyright strike or something. But oh well. I want to throw that video out there for you guys. So I'm not going to answer that one, but maybe you guys can guess what I'm going to say. For the first part, but I'm gonna do a video on that very, very shortly. I don't know how soon, but don't expect it in like the next day or week or something. And Super Saiyan 3 Vegito/Gogeta is stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. If it's in the same timeline, I would say the fusions of Super Saiyan 3s would probably beat them, to be honest with you. That's just me. You guys might think I'm crazy, but that's just what I would think, to be honest. Considering how powerful fusion is, if that makes sense. And these are just all repeats. So guys, that has been the Q&A for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I know I probably, judging by the time here, yeah, I cut it a little bit longer, but it's not a big deal. It's only a couple. These questions are going to be interesting to answer next week, so, you know, come back to find out how those get answered. But anyways, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to the Q&A today. Thank everyone for asking all these questions. I have a ton of questions that have been asked over the last few weeks. It's insane. I used to always run out of questions. Now I have too many. So, like I said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.